My name is Claire Beaufort, 35 years old, 6 months pregnant, and I should have known better than to think peace ever lasts in this family. The yard behind the Beaufort estate shimmered with fairy lights and champagne flutes. Seattle's salt-heavy air hung still. Guests whispered in moneyed voices. A jazz trio hummed in the background. This was supposed to be Dash's night. My husband. Clean-cut, too loyal, too patient. The kind of man who still holds open doors, even when you're furious with him. I stood at the center of the lawn, my hand resting on the swell of our daughter. Every eye was on us, even hers. Serafina. My sister-in-law was perched at the edge of the seating area, legs crossed like she owned the world. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. It never did. Say something, Dash whispered, his palm on my lower back. I raised my glass. We wanted to thank everyone for being here tonight. It's not just Dash's birthday, it's something more. People leaned forward. Phones lifted. Camera flashes sparked. We're expecting, I said, voice steady. Again. Applause burst. Someone whistled. My heart fluttered, then stopped. Sarah stood. Tall, calm, dressed in a bone-white pantsuit. She walked up to the mic before I could breathe. I have something to share too, she said. Dash tensed beside me. His hand slipped off my back. I found this little gem while going through some old archives at Aldridge Media, Sarah said, turning to the screen behind her. The projector clicked. A video began to play. Me, in an office, laughing. Gideon Reeve sat across from me, my old colleague, my closest confidant from another life. The camera angle was odd, hidden. My face in profile, his fingers touching mine. Muted audio. No context. Just long, slow shots. People started murmuring. I looked at Dash. His face was stone. Sarah turned back to the crowd. Just a sweet little blast from the past. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. The screen went black. Silence swallowed everything. Dash's jaw tightened. My pulse pounded in my ears. That wasn't how it happened. That clip, it was real but edited. Slowed. Cropped. I started. But Dash had already stepped away. The applause. The smiles. The warmth. Gone. The party cracked like glass. Across the lawn, Sarah raised her champagne. To family, she said. And transparency. It took everything in me not to scream. Instead, I smiled. One rule I live by. Never swing first. Let them think they've won. Because the best revenge comes after the cameras stop rolling. I wasn't humiliated. Not yet. Because now I knew she was playing dirty. And I played better. The champagne hadn't even gone flat before the whispers started. I stood in my kitchen with the lights off, one hand on the marble counter, the other shaking as I rewound the video clip on my phone again and again. My face caught mid-laugh. Gideon's hand brushing mine. That slow damning zoom. Edited. Cropped. Staged. Dash hadn't come home. The party ended hours ago. Outside. Rain hit the glass like static. The kitchen clock clicked louder than usual. Everything felt louder now. I tapped the video timeline. Paused. There. A digital watermark in the lower corner. Barely visible. Aldridge Media Group. Of course. Sarah didn't just find the footage. She made it. I grabbed my laptop, heart hammering. I needed eyes on this. Someone neutral. Someone with clearance. And teeth. Marisol Vega. Former FBI, now private cyber investigator. She owed me a favor. I typed fast. Need eyes on digital tampering. Urgent. Discretion required. Sent. 3 minutes later, she replied. Location of file? I uploaded the clip. 5 more minutes. Then. It's been through 3 edits. Original metadata erased. Reconstructed timeline suggests fabrication. Someone wanted this to look real. I stared at the screen. Truth doesn't need a costume, my father used to say. Only lies wear makeup. Click. I played the video one more time. Slowed. A moment I never remembered happening. Because it didn't. Cut scene. Living room. Light still off. I found Dash's phone on the arm of the couch. Locked. I knew the code. 7 digits. Our wedding date. The man might doubt me, but he still trusted old habits. I opened his messages. Nothing from Sarah. Checked voicemail. One message. Her voice. She's not who you think she is, Dash. You're blinded by her. You always have been. Just think. Do you really know where she goes when she says she's working late? Think about your daughter. Think about the baby. She ended it with, "You deserve to know everything." My hands clenched. The door slammed. I turned. Dash stood in the entry. Soaked through, tie loosened, no jacket. He looked wrecked. "You listened to my voicemail?" he asked flat. "You let her poison your mind." "You didn't deny it," he said. I laughed once, dry and hollow. "There's nothing to deny. And if you think I'd risk our baby for—" "I don't know what to think, Claire," he snapped. "Good. Let him feel what I felt for 6 years." He walked past me, headed for the stairs. I didn't stop him. Cut scene. Midnight. Lena Harper's apartment. My best friend. My only ally now. She poured whiskey into a teacup, no ice. She planned this. That wasn't a reveal. That was an execution, she said, handing it to me. "I need to find the source," I told her. "You think Gideon's involved?" I hesitated. Maybe. Or maybe he's just a pawn. Lena's brows lifted. Because he met with her last month. She said it was about Dash's birthday. My blood chilled. What? She didn't tell you? I figured you knew. I saw them at Le Jardin. My fingers tightened around the cup. Whiskey sloshed. Another betrayal. Or a setup. Or both. I stood. "Where's your Aldridge Media Access badge?" Lena blinked. "You're not." "Yes," I said. "Tonight." Cut scene. 2:38 a.m. Aldridge Media Group Headquarters. Downtown Seattle. Gated. Quiet. Emergency lights inside like veins of red. Lena's keycard worked. She held the door as I slipped inside. Hoodie up, sneakers quiet. Every hallway echoed. "You have 4 minutes," Lena whispered in my earpiece. "Go." 3rd floor. Archive room. Door unlocked. Inside monitors, hard drives, cables coiled like snakes. I opened the main server panel. Found a folder labeled B_campaign. Clicked. Loaded. 10 thumbnails. One labeled Final_V1. I clicked it. My breath caught. A second video. Same clip, but longer, with added captions. Not just implication. This one outright accused me of infidelity. Overlay text. Timeline doesn't add up. Who's the real father? I deleted it. A footstep behind me. I froze. Another. Whispers. Not English. I spun around. Shadows shifted at the edge of the server racks. Lena's voice in my ear. "Claire, get out. Now." I grabbed a USB from the port. Yanked it. Ran. Down the hallway. Red light strobed. My heartbeat pounded in sync. Out the stairwell. Down 3 flights. To the exit. Glass door. Rain hitting in sheets. A figure stood outside, watching me. Motionless. Umbrella lowered just enough to hide their face. I stepped back. They raised a hand, slowly, and pointed directly at me, then turned and disappeared into the street. I slammed the door. Locked it. Breathed. Fast. Shaky. Sick. Lena opened the side door, yanking me out. Back in the car. Doors locked. She drove fast, one hand gripping the wheel, the other holding her phone. "You got it?" she asked. I nodded, but I didn't feel relief. I felt watched. Hunted. Sarah hadn't just tried to humiliate me. She was willing to destroy anyone who got in her way. Rain smeared across the windshield as Lena's tires hissed down the freeway. I gripped the USB like it was a live wire. I saw the look in her eyes, Lena muttered. She knew you'd take the bait. She wanted me to find it, I said. Or she wanted you to be seen stealing it. I turned, watching headlights fade behind us. One black sedan was still tailing. No plates. She's not just trying to destroy me, I whispered. She's watching every move. Cut scene. Home. Alarm system armed. Dash's shoes by the door. Jacket missing. The USB went into my laptop. Password prompt. Cracked in seconds. Inside, 7 folders. Each labeled like a case file. Reputation strike. Paternity doubt. Beaufort financial. Reeve watched. Claire routines. Children. Live underscore feed. The last one hit like a bullet. I opened live underscore feed. Footage loaded. Not surveillance. Streaming. Real time. A grainy image of my bedroom. Then the baby's nursery. 3:16 a.m. A figure passed by the crib. Hovered. No audio. Just silence. Then the camera shook, tilted. Someone moved it. Watched it. Bile climbed my throat. She's been inside, I said. Lena stared at the screen, pale. Cut scene. I sent the feed to Vega. 30 seconds later, she called. Where did you get this? Aldridge server. You realize this is enough for a warrant. I stayed quiet. I'll loop in Seattle PD. But this goes deeper. Cut scene. I didn't sleep. I sat in the hallway with a bat. Every creak of the house made me jump. Some people call it paranoia. I call it survival. Fear is only irrational when you're safe. I wasn't. Sunlight came. Weak. Cloud choked. Dash sat across from me at the table. Eyes red, coffee untouched. He didn't ask where I'd been. You think I'm stupid? I asked. He looked up. You think I don't know she's in your head? That voicemail. That silence. She's my sister, he said. She's a snake. She saved my life once, when I OD'd in college. I paused. That was new. She never told anyone. Covered it all up. Now it made sense. His guilt. His blindness. He owed her, and she weaponized it. I leaned in. What if she's not saving you anymore? What if she's burying you next? Cut scene. Later, Lena texted. Check Gideon. Something's off. I drove. Parking lot of Gideon's apartment building was empty. His car sat untouched. Dust on the windshield. I knocked. No answer. A neighbor watched me from behind their curtain. I left a note. Cut scene. 7:43 p.m. My phone pinged. Unknown number. Meet me. Just you. Café Trant. 8 p.m. It's time. Gee. I didn't hesitate. Café Trant sat in the quiet part of downtown, tucked beside a florist and a pawn shop. Blue awnings. Dead quiet. Inside, one table had a coffee cup. Steam still rising. His phone lay next to it. Screen cracked. No Gideon. No one. I called out. Silence. I looked down. Under the table. Blood. A small smear. Faint. Dried. And a cufflink. Gold. With the Aldridge family crest. I picked it up, heart thudding. Voices outside. I ducked into the alley, clutching my coat. My phone buzzed again. If you dig further, you won't like what you find. No name. Just dread. Cut scene. Back home. I entered quietly. Baby monitor showed the nursery empty. I climbed the stairs. The hallway light flickered. My office door stood open. Laptop screen glowed. Mouse moving. Someone was controlling it remotely. A folder opened. One I hadn't seen. Aldridge Debt Reclamation Project. Inside, dashcam footage. A car following mine. Gideon's security badge. Marked terminated. An image of me, 6 months pregnant, walking to my OBGYN. Time-stamped. Logged. There was a line at the bottom. Risk assessment. Target remains unaware. Phase 2 begins. I slammed the lid shut. Someone gasped behind me. I turned. Dash. He held a piece of mail. His hands were shaking. This was delivered to my office, he said. It was a manila envelope. Inside, copies of our financials, bank transfers, contracts I didn't recognize, payments to Aldridge Group, signed by Dash. Claire, I didn't approve these. My mind raced. Dots connected. You gave her access to our accounts. No, years ago. She helped set up our prenup. I thought. She never stopped. Twist of the knife. Twist of betrayal. Tell me the truth, Dash, I said, voice flat. His eyes filled. I think I helped her start this. If she wanted war, I'd make sure she didn't walk away from it. I stopped reacting. That was the first move. People think traps are loud. Explosions. Screams. They're wrong. Real traps are quiet. They start with silence. With surrender. By morning, I was done fighting in public. I posted the apology. One take. No makeup. Soft light. Hands folded over my stomach. I've had time to reflect, I said, voice measured. Pregnancy doesn't excuse confusion. I should have handled things with more grace. I let my eyes water. Not too much. I'm stepping back. For my family. For peace. I hit upload. Within minutes, sympathy poured in. Comments softened. The narrative shifted. Exactly as planned. Distraction first. Reveal later. I learned long ago, when people think you're broken, they stop watching closely. Cut scene. Marisol Vega met me at a neutral place. Hospital cafeteria. Cameras everywhere. Smell of bleach and coffee. You're sure about this? She asked. I'm sure she'll bite. Vega slid her tablet across the table. We've mirrored Aldridge's cloud servers. Legal warrant pending. But here's the thing, she's careful. She doesn't touch files unless she thinks she's winning. Then we make her think she is. Vega nodded once. I'll need access. You'll have it. Cut scene. Dash watched me from the doorway that night, uncertain, guilty, quiet. You shouldn't be online, he said. That's what she wants you to say. He flinched. I'm not the same woman who married you, I said calmly. But I'm still the mother of your child. And I don't lose. He didn't argue. Sometimes silence is consent. Sometimes it's fear. Cut scene. 3 days passed. No threats. No messages. Just a car parked across the street twice. Same time. Different plates. Someone once said paranoia is just pattern recognition with consequences. I believe that now. Then the email came. From Gideon Reeve. Subject, please. I can explain. Meet me. One last time. Location pinned. Public. Daylight. Cafe on 5th. I told Vega. Red herring, she said. But go. We're watching. Cut scene. The cafe was busy. Midday rush. Too loud for violence. Gideon's seat was empty. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. A server brought coffee I didn't order. He asked me to give you this, she said, placing a folded napkin on the table. Inside a single word. Run. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. You're closer than you think. I stood, heart racing. That's when I saw it. Under the table. A dark stain on the tile. Cleaned too quickly. Missed a spot. And beneath the chair, something glinting. A cufflink. Gold. Engraved. The Aldridge crest. My breath hitched. Cut scene. Sirens wailed somewhere far away. I left before the police arrived. Back in my car. Hand shaking, I called Vega. He's gone, I said. And she did it. She wanted you to find that, Vega replied. This is escalation. No, I said. This is exposure. Cut scene. That night, I let myself break. Just a little. I cried in Dash's arms. Let my knees buckle. Let my voice crack. I'm scared, I whispered. I don't think I can do this anymore. He held me tighter. His guard dropped. From the hallway mirror, I watched his reflection. A man torn in half. Some truths only surface when people think you've given up. Cut scene. 2:11 a.m. My laptop pinged. Remote access alert. Someone was inside the Aldrich cloud. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just watched. Files opened. Modified. Saved. A folder renamed. Final underscore cleanup. Vega's voice came through my earpiece, low and sharp. She's touching it, logging everything. On screen, text appeared. A new document. A confession draft. Not signed. Not yet. People reveal themselves when they think the end is near. I whispered, record everything. Cut scene. Morning. Sarah called. Her voice was honeyed. Warm. I saw your video, she said. Very brave. Thank you, I replied. I just want this to be over. A pause. I think it can be, she said. Come to the gala tonight. One last clean slate. I smiled to myself. A famous line echoed in my head. When your enemy invites you to dinner, bring your own knife. I'll be there, I said. Cut scene. I stood alone in the nursery afterward. Sunlight filtered through sheer curtains. Dust motes floating like ghosts. I touched the crib. I won't fail you, I whispered. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Delete the footage, or the next blood won't miss. I stared at the message. Hands steady now. Sarah hadn't just tried to humiliate me. She was willing to destroy anyone who got in her way. The gala was exactly the kind of place nightmares are born. Crystal chandeliers, endless wine, a carpet so red it looked like spilled blood under the lights. Everything glimmered, sparkled, hiding shadows. I walked in beside Dash, quiet, measured, pregnant, polished, invisible on purpose. All eyes drifted to us. There she was, Sarah Aldridge, smiling like she owned the room. She did. I had one advantage. I knew she wanted control, and that meant she would slip. We entered the main hall. A quartet played something too sweet. Violins screeched against tension in the air. I saw Vega across the room, nodding once. I raised my glass, smiled, softly. Sarah approached. Claire, she said, her voice delicate, a trap wrapped in velvet. Serafina, I replied. Beautiful night to heal old wounds, isn't it? You're brave, she said. Very brave. Bravery is just fear measured, I said, remembering a line I once heard. Courage isn't absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. She blinked, a slight twitch, the kind only someone used to covering secrets can't fully hide. Cut scene. I drifted toward the stage where Sarah planned to give a speech. A microphone glowed red. She stepped up, cleared her throat. Tonight, she began slow, deliberate, we celebrate family. Camera phones pointed. A crescendo of applause. Then her smile faltered. The first reveal, right before her words twisted. And transparency, something some of us value far more than others. Gasps, whispers. I felt Dash tense beside me. Sarah's eyes flicked to me. Cold. She continued. But tonight, I want to be clear. No one manipulates truth better than those who fear it. I sipped my drink. Not a flinch. Not yet. Cut scene. Halfway through the gala, Vega's alert buzzed in my pocket. Incoming live feed. Confession clip. S. Aldridge draft. I opened it quietly. The footage was shaky. Night vision. Sarah's voice clear. I think we need to consider removing certain narratives before they ruin more than just reputations. It wasn't direct, yet, but the intent? Clear as a bullet. I slipped the phone back into my clutch. My breath shortened. That was when the power died. Lights flickered. A beat of silence. Then darkness. Gasps. Footsteps. Shuffling. Someone screamed. Emergency lights blinked amber. The quartet vanished. In the dim glow, Sarah stood frozen at the podium. Then a scream echoed from the back. Cut to chaos. Security guards rushed in. People shoved. Phones lit up the room like ghosts in the fog. I saw Vega sprint toward me. "Everyone safe?" she asked. "I have proof," I said aloud. "Good," she whispered. "We need that confession now." Cut scene. 2 guards led Sarah off the stage. Her face was pale. Shock? Strategy? I couldn't tell. I stayed beside Dash. His eyes were unreadable. In a low voice he whispered, "What did you do?" "I didn't do it," I said. "She did." Another alert buzzed. A new folder shared. Aldridge Assets, Public Disclosure. The screen in the hall flickered back on. Documents. Transactions. Contracts. Transfers. All labeled. Claire Beaufort, target. Dash's eyes widened. I watched the uploads. Each file released revealed another layer of manipulation. Sarah hadn't just attacked my image. She'd been positioning me as the enemy publicly. Financial channels, social circles, legal circles, all weaponized. Whispers built into cries. The attendees saw. Dash saw. I saw. This was the reveal. The exposure. Cut scene. In the chaos, Sarah broke free from the guards and rushed toward the exit. I froze. Then Vega appeared behind me. "She'll go to her security suite," she said. "There's footage there. Live." My pulse spiked. "Then we go," I said. We ran out the side doors. Into the cold night. Rain drummed against the pavement. The gala behind us was a storm of confusion. We crossed the lawn. Security cameras blinked like watchful eyes in the dark. I knew she was hidden somewhere in the estate. And she was filming. Cut scene. We reached the service entrance. Locked. Vega pulled out a warrant. Electronic signature glowing. "I've got this," she said. The door unlocked. Dim lights. Long corridor. Camera at every corner. My shadow stretched against walls like warning signs. Then we heard it. A voice. Sera-es. Clear. Sharp. Echoing down the hall. "Do you really think this ends tonight?" She stepped into view. No guards. No panic. Just her. And a smirk. "Think carefully," she said. "You're not the only one with footage." The lights flickered. Then went out again. I held my ground. Heart pounding. In darkness, every fear feels closer. And every secret screams. She wasn't just going to fall. She was going to fight. Harder than anyone expected. The warehouse was cold. Concrete walls. Echoing steps. Rain slapped against the metal roof. I clutched the USB in one hand. Dash beside me, Vega close behind. Our breaths were tight. We moved in silence. Then came the voice. "Claire." Sarah stood near the far wall. Packed duffel bags at her feet. Gideon on his knees, bruised. Eyes wide with fear. "Do you really think this ends tonight?" she asked, voice smooth as ice. I didn't flinch. I stepped forward. Step away from him. She laughed softly. "No, let's talk." Her eyes glinted. Her plan was unraveling, but she still had leverage. Her words hung heavy. "Power doesn't disappear because the world watches it collapse." I kept my voice low. "Talk fast." She lifted a hand, not threatening, calculated. "Dash wasn't innocent," she said. "He signed off on everything. I only finished what he started." Dash stiffened. I looked at him. His face tightened. "I didn't fully understand what she was building," he mumbled. "That was all the opening I needed. Not enough to excuse, but enough to divide." Sarah shifted, eyes burning with desperation. "I have evidence," she said. "Proof of things no one knows." Vega stepped forward. "I'm listening," she said. Sarah reached into the duffel. Slowly, dramatically. "Careful," Dash warned. But it was too late. She pulled out a drive. One that didn't look like the rest. She tossed it. It landed near my foot. The label read, Live_streamer sur feed. Vega crouched, picked it up. You broadcasted this, she demanded. Sarah smiled. Yes. Cut. Immediately, a phone buzzed in my pocket. I opened it. Live now. Claire Beaufort, confession and censored. My blood ran cold. The screen showed a feed from inside my home. My nursery. Not the shaky, old grainy stuff. Clear. Close. My daughter's room. Another feed popped in. The living room. Then the hallway. Footsteps. Our home. Live. Someone in my house. Watching. Recording. Streaming. Cut. Sarah grinned. You're not the only one with footage. The world was watching me now. But not just me. My family. My future. Everything I tried to protect. My mind snapped back to the line I'd whispered once in the dark. They think they can bury the truth, but they forget truth breathes. It breathed now. Every room. Every camera. Every live stream. I lunged. Not at Sarah. At the drive. Vega intercepted me. We need to isolate the broadcast, she said. I nodded. But the thought struck me then. What if this broadcast wasn't just surveillance? What if she was inviting the world in, and I was the villain? Cut. Suddenly a shout. Police! Blue and red lights spilled into the warehouse. Sirens cut through the rain. Sarah's eyes widened. The handcuffs came fast. Officers stormed in. Serafina Aldridge, one announced, You are under arrest for unlawful surveillance, kidnapping, coercion, and endangering the welfare of a minor. Sarah didn't resist, but she stared at me, smiled, as if she'd already won something. Cut. Outside, Dash stood under a floodlight. Soaked. Hollow. I walked to him. No more secrets, I said. There won't be, he replied, but his voice cracked, and I knew that wasn't true. We walked out together, rain still falling. I shielded my belly. Our future unborn child. A life untouched by this chaos. Cut. Weeks later, I sat on the porch of our new home. Far from the mansion. Far from the gala. Far from shadows. The phone buzzed. A message. Case closed. Public report mandatory. All evidence released. Transparency achieved. I exhaled. Dash joined me, our daughter in his arms. Her tiny fingers curled around his shirt. I watched them. The weight of all this lifted slightly. Not gone, but lighter. I turned to Dash. We survived, I said. He nodded. You taught me something, he said. I tilted my head. What's that? He hesitated. Courage isn't surviving the storm. It's dancing in the rain. I smiled. Not because it was poetic, but because it was true. Cut. Night fell. Stars bloomed. The house was quiet. My daughter asleep. Dash beside me. I thought of Sarah, of secrets, of how close we came to losing everything. And I whispered to the dark air. Truth is the blade that cuts deepest when fear cannot find you. And I believed it. Fully. Finally.